Hey, it's Mark Mappa with National Real Estate Network. I'm here with Letitia Patterson, and I want to talk to you about if you're an out-of-country buyer or an out-of-state buyer and you've bought in Detroit, Michigan or Detroit metro area. I'm going to give you a lesson I learned the really hard way. So if you're holding properties that you've bought like that, please listen to what I've got to say. In my case, I had 350 rental properties. I was in the Detroit area, and I actually ended up catching a building inspector not handling things properly. He was actually extorting people. I set up with the police on a sting operation. He got busted. That was the biggest mistake I ever made because other inspectors came after me, and it was time for me to get out of the rental business. So here's what I did. I'm an active investor. I looked first at what the pricing was on properties that were selling. Like, you'd go to Zillow and look. That was the biggest mistake I made because that wasn't what rental properties were selling for. But I wanted to sell them at retail. So I had to evict the tenants, get the property back, hire a rehab crew. I actually got out of them at full retail price. And guess what? It only took me 10 years. So what I'm thrilled to have here today is Letitia, because she specializes in people that are in that situation and being able to liquidate the properties. And I'm going to shut up. I just had to tell my story.
Oh, 10 years. That's so hard. So, yeah, thank you, Mark. And that, unfortunately, is not an uncommon experience. So investors always look to sell their properties in one fell swoop, one group, because it's easier, your closing costs are cheaper, you've got less headache, and you can get through with one transaction pretty quickly, right? Your closings on a large package deal should be less than 30 days if you've got a cash buyer. So it's convenient to want to sell as one package, one fell swoop, right? One big deal. But the problem is, when investors sit down, they want to sell their properties as a group, as a bulk package, right, or portfolio. But when they go to look at the value of the properties and how to price them, they'll go look at the properties individually as a retail unit. So they'll use Realtor.com, Zillow, they'll use Redfin to get the values. And those services, they sell advertising. They sell advertising to mortgage brokers. They sell advertising to real estate brokers. So the more eyes they can get on their site, the more they charge for advertising, right? The problem is every consumer, every homeowner or property owner is looking for their values on those sites. So they really may not have the most correct or accurate values for your property type. But those services are just trying to get eyeballs. They're just trying to get views. They're trying to get an audience. So they're going to put up the rosiest picture for the value of your property as they can, right? And sometimes they'll go a little bit across the line because they're just trying to get an audience. They're trying to get views. You want to be able to get an actual opinion of an apples to apples comparison for your rental property. So if you're thinking about selling your rental properties in a package or portfolio, you cannot price them as a retail property would be priced on the market. I know we want to believe that our property is worth the most, but retail properties and rental properties are different models, and so they're priced differently in the market. So what ends up happening is you have the expectation that your property package is worth $10 million based on all your retail values from Zillow. But the market may say that it's not worth that much, and then there's that gap and there's a little disappointment. So what you want to do if you're looking to sell your properties in a portfolio, don't price them individually compared to retail properties. You want to get a qualified opinion of rental properties. So you want to make an apples to apples comparison, not apples to oranges. You want to compare rental property pricing to rental property pricing. And it takes a little bit longer sometimes to find those rental property prices, but rental properties are traded, sold, and bought every single day. So when you're looking at value and you want to price your property portfolio correctly, don't go to Zillow. Don't go to Redfin, please. You want to get a real estate broker who specializes in rental and investment properties. And they're going to evaluate your property either as a rental, sometimes as a fix and flip. So that way you'll know exactly what the rental price is versus the retail price. And then you can make a good comparison and price your property package correctly. Because you don't want to have 10 years, right? And you don't want to have it sit on the market for months and months and months because it's just priced outside of what an investor would do. Remember, this is a business and they're making a business decision to buy, and so you want to price it as a particular kind of property price.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And really, the bottom line is you want to work with somebody that's extremely experienced in this and also has all the buyers for your situation. So this is Letitia. I appreciate you being with us today. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks.